What are some very creepy facts? The Colombian serial killer Pedro Alonso Lopez, who is known as the Monster of the Andes, raped and murdered over 300 girls from Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia. However, after he was caught and imprisoned for 18 years, he was put in a psychiatric hospital. There he was reviewed, declared to be sane, and was set free, in spite of his blatant avowal that he fully intends to kill again. Since he was released in 1998, nobody knows where he is or what he's doing. He is supposed to be 71 years old at present. He is known for being the most prolific killer ever. There is a genetic disease called fibrodysplasia ossificans progressive. When tissue is damaged, it is replaced with bone. Growths form underneath. Their skin and their joints lock, solid. So over time, those affected slowly become encased in a prison of bone just beneath their own skin. They usually have to choose between sitting or standing up for the rest of their life. By the end of their life, they have to drink every meal through a straw and can barely move. Your eyes have a separate immune system from the rest of your body. If they get damaged in such a way that it affects anything other than your eyes, your regular immune system can attack the damage and will not recognize them, meaning your own body can permanently blind you. What's worse, your body cannot tell the difference between either eye. If one of them gets infected or damaged, your immune system can attack your healthy eye and take away your sight entirely. Rosemary Kennedy was JFK's sister. She suffered from oxygen deprivation at birth, and that unfortunately stunted her mental growth. She had a pretty decent childhood, but as she grew older, she began to act out. Afraid that her behavior would risk his political career, her father, Joseph, agreed to have her lobotomized. Her mother, Rose, was against it and forbade him from doing it. So he did it behind her back when she went on a trip. After the operation, Rosemary's already low IQ was lowered even further, to the point she could no longer walk or communicate. Her family had her locked up in an institution and basically disowned her. They never visited and never publicly acknowledged her anymore. Rosemary died at the age of 86. Her mother never forgave her husband for what he had done. The men of the ship Essex, the true event that inspires. The story, Moby Dick, avoided islands after being shipwrecked for fear of cannibals. The islands were settled, and landing there would have brought salvation to the survivors. Ironically, because of this bypass, the men ran out of food and were forced to eat each other for survival. You know what's even creepier? 2 of the sailors were later rescued by an American ship. They were alone at sea for so long and had to cannibalize their crewmates to survive. When they saw their rescuers, they immediately stashed bones in their pockets. They didn't seem to care that they were rescued. They were obsessed with the bones of their fallen crewmates, so they can suck on the bone marrows. Even after they were on boarding the ship, they refused to depart from the bones and would even attack anyone who would come close. There is a fungus, cordyceps, that can actually brain control insects, forcing them to move to a higher location where they will eventually die and release more cordyceps spores. The bottom of Lake Superior is cold enough that the bodies of dead sailors just remain. They don't really decompose because it's at freezing temperatures. So they instead get a coating of adipocere, think that's how it's spelled, which is liquid body fat, hardened around them. Gordon Lightfoot wasn't lying when he wrote, "The lake never gives up her dead." Source: the lake that never gives up her dead. Ask a mortician. Elmer McCurdy was a failed Old West outlaw. His preserved body was put on display in a Nice traveling carnival, and years later, he was eventually assumed to be a mannequin until he was used on set for the TV show The $6 Million Man. His arm accidentally fell off during the shoot, revealing bone and muscle, and that he was a corpse, not a mannequin. After raping his blindfolded victims, the Golden State Killer would be super duper quiet and pretend like he was gone. and right when the poor victims would start to move towards the phone or try to untie themselves, you would scare the fucking shit out of them. One reason that crows and ravens are associated with death is because they would often follow armies as they marched to battle. Being both carrion birds and extremely intelligent, they realized that a large group of armed men marching on one direction meant that there would be a tasty meal of corpses to eat soon afterwards. Imagine being totally aware of someone performing CPR but you physically can't move or respond. Well, that's what happens when you get bitten by a blue-ringed octopus. You have approx 6 minutes between being bitten and someone starting CPR to keep your heart and lungs functioning to ensure you survive, all whilst being totally aware of what is happening to you. Neurotoxins are fun. The really creepy thing about this is one story of a guy who got stung, got CPR performed on him, and survived. But he went blind because he was lying on his back, eyes open, unable to blink because of the paralysis, staring into the sun. Imagine lying there, unable to move, unable to communicate. The sun slowly burning out your eyes, and you can't shut them. The US has lost 6 nuclear warheads in total. It still fascinates me that you can lose something like a nuclear. Your brain can play tricks on you to make you see monsters in the mirror, called the Troxler effect. The Troxler effect is an optical illusion that affects how you perceive things, both visually and mentally. So that was the lady in my mirror. I once read that you should play dead if a bear attacks you, unless they start licking your wounds, because that means they plan to eat you. That still haunts me to this day. Edit. If it helps, I'm pretty sure I was reading about grizzly bears at the time during one of my fevered grizzly man rabbit holes. If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, grizzly, lie down. And if it's white, say goodnight. There's a spider that gives you a 3 hours long boner before you die from its bite. Edit. The boner it gives you is very painful. Die hard. If it bites you, you might as well dick slap it into next week. Female mummies in ancient Egypt were always more decomposed than their male counterparts. They discovered that this was because male bodies were embalmed a lot sooner than female bodies. Female bodies were kept at the family home until they started to decompose in order to avoid necrophilia at the embalmers. There's a parasite that enters a fish's mouth, eats the tongue, and replaces itself as the fish's new tongue. According to Abe Lincoln's bodyguard Crook, he said Lincoln had a dream about his own assassination 3 nights in a row before he was killed. Crook told Lincoln not to go on that fateful night, and all Lincoln said was goodbye. Crook, before he went to the play. This was very ODD, as Lincoln always said good night, not goodbye. Box jellyfish are not only the most venomous jellies to humans, but they also possess at least 24 functional eyes of various degree on its body, despite having no centralized brain. 4 of its eyes always peer up out of the water, regardless of the animal's body position. Some eyes can make out images. Others are more primitive. If all bacteria in a cheese decided to move in the same direction, the cheese would move quite a distance in a day. There is a condition where you just think you're dead or don't exist. People who have it sometimes stop eating because they think they're dead. So, for various grim reasons, Australia has a quite advanced, very knowledgeable specialist law enforcement unit dealing with online child essay imagery. They showed once this mummy blogger who considers herself a safe mommy blogger. She never ever shows her kids' faces. She never shows, like, any part of their bare bodies, not even their backs. She never shows them at the beach or in the pool, unless they're in those short t-shirt surf swimsuit thingies that cover them up from shoulder to knee and don't show their shape or body. She never shows them in bedclothes or anything you consider revealing or private moments. Most of her photos of her kids are just their hands, or taken from behind or neck down, while the kids are fully dressed, like in jeans and coats. For safety and privacy, this unit approached her to show something, and they placed a tracking code in some of these photos, and within hours had tracked those photos. One of them was her 3 kids in heavy coats and woolly hats. On an autumn day, like these kids could be dolls. You can't see faces, body, shape, skin. You can barely see their hair under their hats. Those photos still ended up on pedo websites, with creepy comments by child abusers about how they like seeing kids dressed like that, because they're not just turned on by revealing or inappropriate images of kids. They're attracted to children, and that means having these specific preferences. A covered-up child is just as attractive to them as a kid at the beach. Basically, there's no safe way to have images of your child online. But wait, it's worse. If you go to a lot of family bloggers' pages, they'll have parent-run pages for their underage children, sometimes as young as toddlers, where post solely content of the kids. It's just S-way to have multiple pages as distinct revenue streams, but it's also something else. If you look at the follower stats of a lot of these pages, very often a majority of the followers, sometimes more than half, are adult men between 8 and 5'5". These pages will be like, this 3-year-old girl going to water parks, with lots of shots taken from the bottom of a slide as she slides down it, in her bathing costume or playing in the pool. Like these kids live in the pool. So yeah. Don't miss new stories, subscribe to the channel and hit like. Share any creepy facts you know in the comments.